Hello and welcome everybody to the fifth installment of Brushstrokes in our newest series of Alice Baker, The Adventures of the Unsinkable Alice Baker. Hello to our Patreons and to everybody who's watching this on YouTube. It is still 1932, or should we say it's 1932 again? Because last time you met a man in a yellow robe with a pallid mask, and he was trying to woo our Dottie and marry her, but somehow you objected to that plan. So again, no wedding bells for Miss Williams, and
I think she's quite happy about that.
Considering that she's got all 10 fingers again. So essentially what happened was you have met the person who identifies as the King in Yellow. You have also met Albus Craig. You have killed Albus Craig, for all you know, because you shot him and he bled to death. Unlike other people who bleed by spilling forth red gauze from their wounds. And you also found Penelope Smithers, and you have rescued her. You've also reacquainted yourself with Sergeant Bruce of Simmons Strand, who basically threw you out of his police station and sent you on your merry way, because you ended up in a jail cell with him. And then you were in Carcosa, you've seen the Lake of Hali, you've seen the city of Elith across from it, you've seen the two suns and the sicklish yellow-greenish light that they cast. And now you're back in New York, but you've also had a phone conversation with yourself in 1931 on the 1st of November, where you spoke to Alice, who's not in Egypt. That Alice isn't, and that Alice apparently also doesn't know or doesn't have a Dottie, so that Alice is deprived.
Yeah, also she doesn't have a Maeve, so
she doesn't have a Maeve, no.
That is a very poor living.
Yeah, she does have a Teresa, so she's not completely on her own, but you can't replace a Dottie.
So it's good to be back home. With Maeve, with Teresa. Penelope was staying with us overnight.
Yes, yeah. And you also spoke to Madame Lavaux to try and find out, did she know Maman Lavaux, did she know anything? And she said, well, yeah, he's not one of mine, so he's not one of these spirits that she would work with, but she knows of him and she knows that he's very dangerous, which you have also seen because he is weird. I mean, he didn't really kill you or try to. Basically, he seemed to know that when he stabs you, you wouldn't die. But in and of itself, it was a strange experience. He's a weird one. So, now, it's again March 1932. It's the next morning. Normally, you make breakfast. Are you able to make breakfast, or are you too tired?
No, I will get up, I will make breakfast. I will make a bigger breakfast because we have a guest staying over that definitely needs some proper food.
Yeah.
And I'll make breakfast, and when it's done, probably have a sneak around if everyone is awake to tell them food is ready, or maybe Dottie, as usual, is already on her way down when it's time. But at least for Penelope, I would peek in and be like, we have breakfast? Proper breakfast?
Penelope, she's lying in bed. She looks at you. She doesn't look like she may have slept a lot because she's got rings under her eyes and she looks quite worn out. So she's only like in her mid-20s. But since you saw her last, she has aged considerably.
Well, she's gone through, I can't even imagine what. But I would offer her, we would have given her at least like comfy night clothing and like a morning gown that she can cover herself with, and I would just, come on, you don't need to get, just throw a rope, and I think a little bit of food and a hot tea or coffee will make everything a little bit better.
So the three of you go downstairs. Teresa is also downstairs because she also joins you for breakfast. Maeve, of course, is there as well. And she eyes Penelope, and Penelope sits down, and then Maeve basically jumps on her lap and starts purring really loudly and cuddles up, rolls up, and is just oozing, love.
Yeah, I will ask around who wants tea, who wants coffee. I will try to make, oh god, let's see, try to make a proper coffee.
You mean mocha?
Yes.
Because you can make coffee all right, it's not a problem.
What on, which die? I did pull out the wrong die.
It's not a D20.
No, I have I rolled a 40 and a 20, and I was like, no, this is wrong. Why do both of them have 2 digits? That's not right. I rolled a 2.
02.
Yes, so it's the
Wow,
best mocha
ticket.
we ever drank, which is the perfect time for it now.
Except for the one time that you rolled a 1 in Egypt.
Yes, but honestly, this is like... Alice will be very proud of it and will tell everybody that the coffee is extra, extra special perfect today.
And everybody is actually agreeing. And everybody's super happy and they enjoy it. Penelope is quiet. She's nice. She's being friendly and everything.
Yep.
But she is quiet, and there's a lot of introspection going on. She's not really that much into talking to you guys. One can probably understand that she's suffered.
Yeah.
And she also said to you that she didn't know if she was ever going to be painting again. So it's a bit difficult.
I think during breakfast Alice would just leave her be. She would eye and have a little bit of a look, Dottie probably as well, that at least she's eating something. And I think after breakfast, at least Alice would ask if Penelope has a few minutes to talk, because we need to see how to proceed.
So Penelope is going to go and lie down in the salon. And she asks if it's okay if she smokes in here.
Yes, it is.
And then she does smoke. And then, yeah, the two of you, Dottie and you, sit down at the table with everybody else going. Or, well, basically, Teresa is in the kitchen. She's working away, but she's gotten used to you guys having really weird conversations about things that people don't usually talk about. So she kind of ignores it. She has lots of stuff to do. She checks the pantry. She makes shopping lists, and she's pretty much ignoring you. So...
That's good.
Well, Alice.
What do we do now? There are people looking for you, and your parents are missing you. We should tell them that you're alive.
Oh, you're talking to Penelope?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I will ring my parents. And we need to let the police know, obviously.
I can tell the police and can ask them if they at least have the niceness to wait a few days before they bug you on details.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing is I need to find a different place to stay. I don't want to be in that apartment anymore.
I can understand that. You can stay here as long as you like. We can help.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to stay in New York.
I also totally understand that. Maybe a change would be good.
I mean, I was planning on going to use the money, the prize money, to go to Italy to study in July. Maybe I'll bring that forward.
That might be a very nice switch of scenery, and you can decide there if you still feel inspired of doing art, or feel inspired of just enjoying the food and the drink, or the landscape, or just life there.
Life. Good idea. I saw a phone in the hall. Do you think I can borrow it? I'm going to pay you because it's going to be a long distance call to Boston.
You don't have to pay. It's all good. We are really glad that you are still with us.
She gives you a smile. It's a weak smile, and she goes outside.
Also, she will call after her. You will get some extra money for selling the paintings, right?
Yeah, that's right. And you hear her pick up the phone, and then she gives a number in Boston, and then you just hear, "Mom, it's me." And then you hear crying. And Dottie gets up and she closes the door to the hallway to give us some privacy. And then she says, "Okay, so what are we going to do now?"
I will write a telegram to the police just to let them know. So Alice will just sit down, make a small telegram ready on found Penelope. She's with us. She needs a few days, and she would make sure this is sent to the inspector quite quickly.
Okay, so that happens. And then?
That's a good question. I am out of ideas what we can do, Dottie. The girl is still in danger.
I think we're all in danger as long as we don't find a way to banish him somehow.
How?
I mean, he gets to us through the painting somehow.
So first step would be to get the painting in the Met and destroy it, which should be, in theory, easy enough.
If we can get them to let us near the painting and destroy it, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's a work of art which the Met has sort of acquired. I'm not sure if they will take kindly to us destroying that. I mean, it is a crime. That's for sure. Like, legally speaking.
Also, we need to get rid of the paint we have in the cellar.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it makes sense to pour it into the Hudson or just into our backyard, because God knows what's going to happen with it. Can it burn? Does paint burn? I mean, it's oil-based, right?
It should be oil-based. Can't make a big fire in the backyard. The fire department will be here quicker than we can reach.
Well, we could take the paint with us in a cab and just leave New York and go someplace else, someplace that's kind of more remote.
Yeah, we could also go down the river. I think at the Hudson, if we make a fire, nobody would mind too much as long as it's not near a building.
Yeah.
Now I'm checking if oil paint can burn.
Doesn't?
Oil paint catch on fire. No, it can damage and warp. But it's flammable. Well, there are things in there that are flammable. I don't think it will all burn, but maybe that parts of it will burn and maybe destroy at least the paint.
Well, I mean, how about we burn it and whatever remains we mix with acid? Acid should destroy everything.
Let's do that. That is something we can do. And let me, when Penelope is done, have a short call with Alex, just to find out how we might get hands on a painting. Because she knows it's freakish and not right.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
And what about Casilda?
I have no idea.
I mean, either way, something has to be done with her because nobody's going to pay for her now for her treatment because her father's dead.
My initial idea, before I knew what is really behind this, I thought about getting the shrink back on board and send them over to see if they can help.
Marianne Kunz.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can always do that. But
I don't want her to be pulled into this madness.
I mean, I think there are two sides to it. Because according to his diary, she was crazy. Long before this happened.
Long before this happened, that's true. And she got in contact because her father wanted her
to become better.
Prepared.
And he was told by...
Let me call Frau Kunz and we will call the clinic at least or we can even visit the clinic just to see how much it would be if we at least pay her treatment and the room for a little longer until we figure something out.
Mm-hmm. Good idea.
Oh, then we need to dress up again. Hey.
How about we take it in turns? There are a couple of things you can do from here. Ring Alex and ring Dr. Marianne Kunz. And once these are done, you can always dress up and we can go and be her aunt and cousin.
Yes, after that we can dress up. We can go with the cap. We can take the paint with us anyhow. We can do that in costume. That doesn't really matter. Let's shop then some acid as well. Big bucket for cleaning. And fire is easy enough. Okay, so when Penelope is done, which probably takes a little bit, but I will tell Penelope that I informed the police that she doesn't have to worry about that. And then I think for Penelope the best is probably just lay down and have a little bit more rest. If she wants anything to eat, just come down. Teresa will easily make something for her.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to do a few chores today.
Yeah.
And then I will call first of all Dr. Kunze.
Dr. Kunz. Okay, you
Kunz
ring the
Kunz
number.
without. Mm-hmm. Okay, Kunz.
Dr. Marianne Kunz.
You see if she or her office is available.
Somebody answers the phone. It's another female voice, not German at all. Dr. Marianne Kunz, psychoanalyst and psychotherapist.
Baker, good morning.
Good morning.
I would be curious if Dr. Kunz would have an appointment free in the next time. She knows me, at least, already. She's worked with us before.
Well, it so happens that one of our patients called in sick today, and she will be free in about an hour.
Then she will be in her office?
Yes.
Could you tell her that we will be there? And then we can
course.
talk if she would be able to take over the
What is
patient.
the name?
Baker, Alice.
Alice Baker. And you said we will be there.
My assistant Dorothy Williams will be there.
Dorothy Williams. All right. Well, do you need the address or do you know it?
We know the address. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have penciled you in.
Thank you.
So, in about 90 minutes.
Yep.
All right.
So Alice will hang up, yell at Dottie, change of plans. In 90 minutes we will be at Dr. Kunz's office to talk to her and see if she wants to help or not. If you feel comfortable seeing her, if you don't feel comfortable, I can go there on my own. And while Dottie is still thinking, Alice will already pick up the phone again and call Alex.
Mm-hmm. You reach Alex Coxon directly.
Mm-hmm.
Metropolitan Museum of Metropolitan Museum of Art, Alex Coxon speaking.
Alice here, good morning.
Alice! Long time no hear, how are things? No, don't ask.
It's well, something. I have a curious question. You can think about it. Is there any way we can get that freakish painting out of the Met so that you never have to lay eyes on it again? Shorthandedly. Not in years or weeks or months.
Logistically speaking, it wouldn't be anything more than two people picking it up and carrying it outside.
Yeah, but it belongs
I've already had two people who have dibs on it and want to buy it. So it's going to be, what are you trying? Are you going to outbid them and buy it, or what is your plan?
Option A is outbid them, depending on how much these crazy people want to pay for this creepy painting.
What are you going to do with it? You're not going to hang it up, are you?
No, I'm making sure nobody will see it ever again. Because you know it's not a normal painting.
So you're thinking
the other option is it might just get lost, stolen, or something like that.
And you're going to be that cat burglar that's going to steal it from me?
If needed, although that would hurt the reputation of the Met, which we definitely do not want to happen. So, how much do I have to pay to get that painting?
Some people have decided to bid $5,000, and it's worth it. It's a creepy painting, but it's worth it. But that's a lot of money, and even you think this is way too much. You're not gonna. This is a lot, even for Alice Baker. Make an idea roll.
$26 is a hard success. There might have been an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah. How about you come by? We've had to move it because there was some kind of water damage to the back of the canvas.
Mm-hmm.
And we tried to repair it and something went wrong.
Well, it's freshly painted. It's not like an old master where everything is dry.
Way not cured.
Yeah. today is quite busy. Would tomorrow fit you?
Sure. When?
Whenever you want.
I'm going to clear my schedule just for you.
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock. You hear her penciling it in. She says, okay, 10 o'clock tomorrow.
I'll see
Bring
you
a
tomorrow.
car. That's
I will.
big.
Yes.
She hangs up.
Okay. Next day, 10. And then I'll look at Dottie, so no costumes, because we can't visit Dr. Kunz in costumes. That would be really weird.
Yeah, it would be.
Let's just take a cab and go there first.
You ring a cab.
Yeah,
You
and
get
I'm not
in.
sure if would Dottie really want to join or not, because Alice would totally understand if Dottie would feel weird about visiting Dr. Kunz.
On a 73, even our really kind of calm and collected Dottie fails her sanity test, which is 45. She prefers to stay at home and wait for you.
And then take care that Penelope gets a lunch snack. I will be back.
Of course.
Good. Then Alice will take the cab on her own and go to visit Dr. Kunz.
You arrive. You've never been to the practice because she always came to your house. So it's actually quite a nice building. Turn of the century. Victorian style building. Very well turned out. Whitewashed facade. Really well kept front lawn, flowers. There. It looks really neat. And it says Dr. Marianne Kunz, psychoanalyst and psychotherapist, on the bronze plaque that's outside.
I will ring the bell.
The door is opened by a young woman who's about maybe 25, 26. She's also wearing a grey dress, and you remember that Dr. Kunz was always wearing grey.
Yeah, she did not really like color, as it seems.
She says, hello.
Baker, I have an appointment in a
Yes,
little
you
bit.
do. Do step inside, please. And if I may ask you to wait, the doctor will be with you
sure.
shortly.
And sorry, change of plans. My assistant is not joining us.
Oh, that's all right. Can I offer you something? Tea, coffee, water?
A glass of water would be lovely.
Of course. And she hands you a large glass of water.
I will sip the water and wait patiently.
The water tastes nice. It doesn't taste like somebody put anything in it. And then a couple of minutes later, you hear the very distinct gait of Dr. Kunz, who never seems to walk. She always seems to be at a half sprint. And she steps inside and she gives you a once over and she says, Miss Baker, so we meet again. Please come into my office now.
Thank you. I will just put the glass at the desk. Thank you for that. And we'll follow Dr. Kunz to her office.
Sit down.
Alice is so tempted to stay standing. She will hesitate for a little, and then she will just sit down.
I see a hesitation in your behavior. Why is that? Do you feel uncomfortable sitting down? Please stand if this is better for you. I will sit down. And she sits down.
I usually just feel hesitant about anyone telling me what to do. But, well...
I'm a psychoanalyst. I always tell my patients what to do, and this probably blends into my normal life.
Yes, I'm not your patient. I might be the one who would give you work, if you're interested in it.
Again?
Nevertheless, yes.
This is I'm discerning a pattern here, Ms. Baker.
Well, last time it was a very close person, and I'm really thankful that you helped. She's doing fantastic. As you might remember, maybe not, I'm working as a private investigator, and in my case...
I never forget such things. It was important information.
Stumbled over, well, let's say a little bit of a family drama. There's a young girl who turned Well, as we normal people would say crazy, I think you professionals would have different language for that. But she is quite obsessive about God and believing and praying, which turned to quite madness. She's been in a clinic for, I think, a year now, right?
I think
Around about
even 2 years.
or 2 years. So for quite a while. The
A
problem
clinic?
is,
What kind of clinic?
I'll give you the name of the clinic.
Oh, quacks. And nuns to boot.
Yeah, which might not be the best for someone who already is quite crazy about God and believing and praying and all that. But hey,
Well,
so
I actually tend to think that anybody who believes too strongly is actually delusional in and of themselves.
well, she is far over that point, at least to my perspective. Also, mixed in are different. I don't know. It's really off. The thing is, her father, who paid for all of this so far, died.
Oh dear.
Horrible thing. I don't think the girl knows yet. I have to admit, we haven't visited her yet. I'm not,
Oh
also not
dear.
sure if we should tell her, because I'm not sure if the death of her mother might have been a trigger.
Oh, her mother is dead too, so she's an orphan now. How
Horrible.
atrocious.
Yes. I would like to have a professional opinion if there is a way to, I will call it, save that girl and maybe get her back on reality's life tracks, that she could leave the clinic and be there and live a normal life out here.
Anyone can be, as you call it, saved. I would prefer to say treated. I cannot promise that healing will ensue, but treatment should be possible.
You are the best
Of course
on
I
your
am.
field that I know, so it would be the question
I
if
am the only
you...
one who's practicing in New York City, so of course you don't know anyone else. And it's very easy to be the best in one's field if there is no competition.
Well, there are a lot of people here calling themselves...
They're quacks. We have been through this. None of
I
them
know.
was able to help Ms. Williams.
No, and that's why I'm coming here to you. First line as it occurs.
So you want to hire me. You know my fees.
Yes.
They have not gone up since we last spoke.
That is surprising by all the cost of living changing, but yes, if you
The first consultation is $50. I assume since she is in a clinic, she will not be able to come to me.
Correct. So we will tell the clinic that you will come by. And
Yes.
when would it fit for you? Should I make an appointment with your assistant?
She's not my assistant, she is my student. I've told you this before. I would prefer if you could actually remember important things. She takes out a calendar thingy.
Alice is thinking, is this the same girl that I remember?
You never met her either.
We
you were
heard
speaking,
her only.
yeah. And she says, well, I can offer tomorrow.
Which
11
time?
o'clock.
Tomorrow, 11 o'clock. We will make sure that you...
For an hour. What is the address, please?
I will hand her a piece of paper prepared with the address of the asylum and the name of the patient.
That is quite efficient. Almost German.
Well, you need all the data to know where to go and whom to deal with. Do you need anything else and information written down for preparation?
No, I would rather you didn't tell me anything more, because I really want to see that patient for myself without being encumbered with your own layperson's wrong assumptions. Thank you. Is there anything else? Because if not, then you can go.
Thank you for taking this case.
You're very welcome.
Alice will get up.
My invoice will be in the post.
Will nod her head and will go outside, wish the assistant, trainee.
Student! She's a student.
a lovely day, and
She smiles at you.
will leave, and I would have let the cab wait because I knew it wouldn't take that long, and would go back home.
You go back home.
Yep.
You arrive.
Yep.
You let yourself in. Dottie's in the salon reading. Maeve is patrolling.
Mm-hmm.
She bumps into you when you arrive. She sprints towards you, bap, into your shin.
I will give her scritches, and
She wants to be picked up. She looks at you clearly.
I'm busy, darling. I'm really sorry. I will give her scritches and move on, and we'll just look over to Dottie. It's time to dress up.
Good. So,
I would have asked the cab driver if he is free for the rest of the day, for the rest of the for a proper payment.
he is.
Good. Then I would offer him that he can now have a short break, and we would need to be picked up in like an hour, and would have given him already part of the payment. So we would get dressed again as
Before you can do anything, Dottie thrusts a plate with 2 sandwiches at you. Lunch.
But
Lunch. I have put out everything that you are going to require to dress up. You can eat lunch. You just have to put it on. We find out that I don't really have to dress up. I'm just Dottie. You just have to dress up, and you've done it before. It won't take long. You eat those 2 sandwiches now.
Alice will take a bite. She will flip through her notes in her notebook, but she will eat the sandwich in parallel, probably just half of it, and then she will get up or get the collar, and she will walk outside and down into the cellar. And will collect the bucket of paint and hopes it's still there. That is a 21. That is a hard success.
You pick up the pot of
freaking
real
paint.
color.
Don't try to get at me. I will pick it up, I will carry it inside and put it at the front door. And then we will get ready. I will look out for Maeve, just in case she's lingering around, and I will just look at her. I know you don't like that paint. We will get it out of the house when we leave. Don't touch it.
Maeve nods.
And Alice will run upstairs with the other half of the sandwich and will get dressed and ready and prepared. And do I need to probably do disguise again just to see how well it works?
You can actually do that with advantage because you've done it before, so you know exactly what you need to do to pull it off, because there is no reason why it shouldn't work this time round.
It's not a good roll, but it's success at least with the second die. So yeah. 36.
Okay, good. So no problem at all.
Yep.
Dottie has again put on her maid's kind of like dress, which worked the last time because for her it's a lot easier to blend into that echelon. And she doesn't really have to, and it's no problem for her to pull off the Catholic schoolgirl look. And so the two of you get into that cab, you take the paint.
Yep.
Where do you put the paint?
Well, we take it with us in...
Do you put it in the trunk, or do you keep it in the car, or...?
We would put it in the trunk. So not with us, but kind of with us, but not next to us directly. And we would make a stop at a general store to get some acid.
Okay. So you go to a general store.
Shouldn't be acid for cleaning, should be easy enough to get.
I suppose.
Acid would be, and I think Alice would also get a little bit of high percentage alcohol for cleaning. During that time you did a lot of cleaning with alcohol high percentage.
No problem. You get that too. So 70. 8% proof, so that would actually be a Molotov cocktail if you wanted to. It burns rather well. And you take all of this and you pay for it. I mean, it's a pittance.
We would also grab a few cleaning cloths as well. Might help to get something on fire. And then we would drive towards the Hudson, somewhere where there's not too many buildings nearby. Probably, well, Battersea down. There are a lot of people looking at Statue of Liberty. But I think Battersea might be a good option.
Okay. You go there, you find a spot, because I don't know, but I would imagine that it was already very built up back then, but possibly because even today there is waste ground in New York City. There is this place where they had this where they have the paupers graveyard on one of those islands, and even that is complete waste ground. There is I saw a video of that once, and I was like, that's New York City, because it looks like it's in the middle of the countryside.
Yeah.
So you would find a place in New York City, in Battersea or wherever you go, where there is not that much, and if there is buildings, you can get away from them, and they are more kind of like industrial, so it's not like a residential area, shall we say. So what do you want to do? How are you going to do this?
Well, we would open the bucket of paint, put it basically in the middle. We would pour on top of that some of the alcohol.
So make a power check, please.
That is a normal success.
Okay.
And then use a strip of the cleaning cloth, like a little bit hanging inside the pot and a little bit going out, so we can step away a little bit, because the alcohol will burn quickly. And then she will use her Feuerzeug.
Lighter,
Thank you. Lighter to light basically the cloth and see if it burns. Since it should be in a tin can, as during that time as well, you would have paint in a tin can, so the fire should stay within that and go up. But that is the main idea. And let's see if it burns.
What is your POW?
55.
You are so lucky, Alice Baker.
I know that Alice has sometimes. It's.
First of all, there is a flame.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like almost like it erupts from the can. So it's and it turns into the sicklish, yellowish, greenish color that you saw the suns in Carcosa cast as light, and a lot of smoke rises from it, and it's a sicklish greenish yellow.
Okay.
And out of that you see a face in a pallid mask, and it's looking at you, and you hear in your head a voice, "I'm not done with her yet."
Alice will just say loudly, "Goodbye."
And then there is some wind that comes from the sea, and it blows the smoke away.
We will stay there until it burned out. Which will take a little bit.
Yeah. And it's kind of, like you said, some parts of it are going to burn, are flammable, but there is a residue after a while. It's kind of like a sticky paste. So do you then put the acid
Yeah,
in?
after the fire stopped or extinguished, or the last
Yeah.
bit, we maybe get the cap on just to extinguish the flames. We will put the acid on top of it and shake it through and let the acid do the work.
You manage to do this, and it actually does begin to bubble and sizzle. And then you also see that it goes through the tin and dissolves the can itself until there is nothing left, really, but a bubbling mass that looks vaguely like tar.
Okay. I think Alice would just throw the rest of the cloth on top and would be like, first thing done. Then let's visit the asylum.
Okay, you go to the asylum.
Yes.
Sister Mary Clarence is again at the reception desk. Ah, Maria, was it?
Yes. Good day. We just wanted to check in with my niece. Not sure.
Of course, of course.
Was just by any curiosity, was the police here to talk to my niece because you were there to talk to us?
No.
That is good to hear. It would not disturb her. My poor brother's still missing.
Oh dear, I will pray to the Lord for his safe return.
Oh, praying for a soul is definitely a good thing to do. Not to offend anyone here, but we pulled in a doctor of psychology to have a look at my niece and see if she has any ideas how we can help. So tomorrow at 11 o'clock, Dr. Kunz will come by to talk to her. If you could let her talk to her, just make
Of course, I will make a
an
note.
assessment. That would
I
be
assume
lovely.
that you will be paying the bill.
For
Because we
Dr.
cannot.
Kunz? Yes, sure. No. We will pay the bill.
All
Also,
right.
I am not sure who is responsible for the payment here. I'm not sure how much
Oh,
in
your brother.
advance my brother paid.
Oh, let me just check the book.
We want to make sure that surely you will still get the money for my niece, that she is safe and secure here.
And she gets up and she walks out and she comes back with a huge ledger, incomings, outgoings. Well, it's paid until the end of June. This year.
Okay. We are now in March, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I know that from June on that we need to clarify who and how in case we are not finding my brother. Okay. That gives me a few days to clarify with the rest of the family.
Thank you.
Thank you as well. Would it be okay if we visit my niece just for...
Of course, of course.
And would it be okay Alice would pull out just... I think a little bit of chocolate. Not too much, but a little bit. Would that be okay if we give it to her?
Well, she has chocolates in her room already.
I
you know
know,
that.
but we would bring her some extra.
Well, of course. I mean, there is nothing that is against rules, but I understand that dear Casilda has actually put herself under a certain rule which disallows her from eating chocolate unless it's a Sunday or Saturday.
Yeah, let's see. Thank you so much. We know the way, and Alice and Dottie would...
Well, an orderly lets you in because
Okay.
obviously it is locked. You cannot just walk in, and you go in and you open the door.
Mm-hmm.
And Casilda is sitting there. She's looking out the window. She turns her head. She sees Dottie.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "It's you again. You do know that I'm his bride, right? You cannot have him."
she doesn't want to have him. You don't have to worry.
She
And I
completely
will just
ignores you.
nudge Dottie to confirm what I just said.
Dottie says, I know. And I believe the two of you will be very happy. But are you aware that you will not be living in New York anymore? He's got a house elsewhere in the country. And she looks at Dottie and she says, well, yes, in the country. But he's told me that he's planning to bring the country here. And I can see the signs at night. And then all of New York will be ours. And then I'm going to find my dad. And we're going to live together happily ever after in his palace. I as his queen. And then it's like, you silly girl, we've been talking about this. Shut up.
I forgot to tell that, Dr. Kunz, but hey, she wanted to make her own decision. Alice would step forward and would be, Casilda, I'm not sure if you're interested, but I would have at least a little treat for you, because you have to wait so long for everything to get sorted out. And she would just hand out a chocolate and see if Casilda's interested.
She takes and she says, but it's not Sunday today, is it?
No, it's not, but we could make an extra rule that when we visit, you can have a little piece of that. Because today is not the weekend, but you still deserve a little treat.
I suppose. I mean, what would Jesus say?
I think he would say you're a very good, strong, believing girl, and you deserve at least a little something. And afterwards, more praying.
She sits down, she opens the package, or she unwraps the chocolate. She takes a deep breath, she inhales, and then she breaks off a tiny piece and she puts it in her mouth and she closes her eyes and she's basically savoring it.
I hope it tastes good.
This is the best chocolate ever. Have some! And she holds it out to you.
Alice will take a little bit.
And
it would be rude not to.
And she then says, so, about my wedding dress. I've been thinking, I need a wedding dress. I cannot go like this. And she's basically, it's like a cloth bag with somebody cutting out holes for her head and her arms and, and sleeving them. So it's like, I'm going to need a wedding dress. And I'm going to need a ring.
Well, but the ring should be his responsibility.
Yeah, you see, the problem is he cannot get to me while I'm here.
But the bride, the husband, or the future husband, is the one who has to take care of the rings.
But he's not allowed to see me before the wedding. So how is he going to get the ring to me?
But the ring is for the wedding, not for now.
An engagement ring.
Oh, if he wants to get it to you, he will have measures to do that. You don't have to worry about the ring, I'm sure. That's his task. Let him do a little bit of work as well. But we can have a look about the dress if you want. We can help.
It should be something special. Something that I don't wear every day. A real wedding dress. White. With flowers embroidered on it. Carnations.
I will see what we can get.
Oh, and I'm not sure about a church wedding. I mean, I'm not sure how I can explain this to my father, but I think that he may not be a Catholic.
I don't think he will be keen on a church wedding.
I know, but I mean, how am I going to explain this to my father?
I honestly don't know. That is something you must think of. Do you love him that much that you can let go of your belief? You need to decide what is more important for you. And that is your decision, because it's your life. Your father loves you, no matter what. He just wants
loves
the
me
best.
more.
I think your father loves you the most, as parents always do.
I've never thought about if I love him. But then again, that's not important, is it?
It is. You only have one heart to give away. You need to think about whom to give it to.
I would give it to anyone who says they love me.
Well, I'm quite sure there would be quite a few young men out there who would tell you, they would love you if you would meet them.
Are any of them kings?
Maybe not in New York, but elsewhere, sure. There are other kings out there.
No, I've given my word. I cannot go back on my word.
Well, you know that until the wedding is done, everyone is allowed to change their mind.
I'm not a harlot.
Things happen sometimes. That's why you have some time between making the decision to marry and the marriage itself, that everyone can think about it in peace and quiet. No one would judge. As I said,
God would judge.
well, God will not be there for the marriage.
God. Oh, 50.
Alice is very, very creepily trying to seed doubt. It's not a church wedding. You know what that means.
And Dottie picks up on this and she's like, any marriage that's made outside of Holy Mother Church is null and void. You would never be considered married in God's eyes. So if you did change your mind even after the wedding, no harm would be done.
And as I said, don't worry about your father. He loves you. He just wants to have you and see you happy.
He's not been around for a long time.
Yeah, he's not doing that well. He's busy at the moment. That's why we are here a few more times.
But I don't even know who you are.
Well, we are friends of your father's.
I've never seen you before.
I know. But he trusts us enough to send us here.
We need to get married in a church. How do I get him to agree to a church wedding?
Oh, you can think about it. Before we leave you alone, so you can think in peace and quiet, just as heads up, tomorrow someone will come and visit you.
Another friend of my dad's?
Well, let's say she's a doctor, but she might have...
I'm not ill.
Well, you are here because they think that you are not Well, if not, you would be with your father.
No, I'm here to get religious education, to see if I want to join a convent. And the answer is no, I'm going to get married, because my husband is a king.
Just think about if you want to talk to her. She will visit you to have a look.
Maybe I can get some fashion tips off her about wedding dresses.
You can give it a try.
It's going to be the worst wedding
Vanity
dress
check
ever.
for Alice, like, oh boy. But well, then we have a task to have lookouts for a dress. And you have the task to think about how you can get him to a church wedding.
You cannot marry him, but you can be my maid of honor, she says to Dottie. And play your cards right, and there will be space at the court for you. I could use a lady in waiting.
We will see how it goes.
You make a perfect servant. I can see it. It's something about you, this demeanor you have.
Alice will get up and just clap her hands. Well, before you go the wrong way, because she is far, far above a servant. She is a queen, or rather, maybe even a god.
She looks at Dottie.
Maybe you can't see it, but she is. You think about how you can get the church wedding going. We look for dress, and when we have something, we will come back.
All right. And tomorrow this doctor is going to come.
Yes. Just for
All
a
right.
talk. And then she will leave you in peace and quiet again. Let's
All
see
right.
how you two get along. Thank you.
Thank you for the chocolate.
You're very welcome. And Alice will knock on the door that we are let out.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are let out, and you can leave.
I think when the door closed behind us, Alice has taken a deep breath of... I'm curious if this is the first patient Dr. Kunz will say, hell no.
Well, she is weird.
Well, the thing is, if you're stuck in this room all by yourself all day, it's quite easily to fantasize about being a queen and having own staff and having a perfect life, because this is a life no one really wants to live.
Well, considering that who her groom is, she's not far off. I mean, she would be a queen if she were to marry him. I'm pretty sure. The question is, what is it like to be...
She has no idea what the price is.
Indeed. And I don't know what it would be like to be married to him. I mean, for all eternity?
Also, he knows her father's dead, so...
Yeah, but I'm not sure I'm following you.
Well, she still thinks her father is out there and will be there for the wedding.
Yeah, but
What
I mean, he
happens if
hasn't...
he's not?
The question is if he's actually spoken to her.
That's a good
Recently.
question. That's a very good question. Hopefully, well, she knew that he wants you as a bride as well.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's spoken to her about her father, and her father has not been...
No, not about the father, but she must have spoken to him recently.
I mean, I think for him it doesn't really matter that her father is dead or not, and I don't think that he is very considerate of her feelings.
Well,
So maybe he will not even mention it.
I don't think he cares about anyone except himself.
He is very powerful, and we know what happens to beings that are very powerful. They become
Weird.
strange.
I think everything is a game. Yes.
For him, even more so, I believe.
Well-
Because he's like a child. I mean, this whole thing with the blood, that was like, I mean, the only thing that was missing was, you know, like giving you a pistol, and when you pull the trigger, it goes bang, and then this little kind of like
Yeah.
flag shoots out saying bang on the side.
I don't know. He definitely still has not let go of you. Sure of that.
How do you mean?
You didn't hear him when the paint burned. Or
No.
saw him.
What? No. Did you?
Yes. And
What did he
said,
say?
Well, that he's not ready to let go of you. And that this is not over yet. More or less. Which honestly is clear because there are still paintings out there that link him.
But then, Alice, maybe you and I need to part ways because this is endangering you.
I'm not leaving you alone. Are you insane?
If he wants me, then he will come after me for the rest of my life. What kind of a life are you going to have?
Well, I will have a very entertaining life being the annoying dumb ass that he will hate and one day will let go of you because it's not worth all the headache.
I know you too well to debate you on this one because you can be very trying. So very trying.
So at the moment, let's do one step after the other. Tomorrow we try to get rid of the painting in the bed.
How are you going to
no
do
idea.
it?
Well, fire is always a good option, I think.
And we saw it burns. To a degree.
Well, it's a question if
we would have to take it out of the frame though, because the frame was, what was it, bronze?
The frame is wood, I'm quite sure. It's not metal. You'd never have metal frames. It's always wood coated with paint in a color of. So I think our cab driver is quite trusty. At least he's doing a really good job. So I'm very tempted to ask him again tomorrow if he would be willing to drive us.
You would not fit the painting into the car. It's 3.5 meters long. We would need a van.
Well, let's see if he's willing to organize something. Or let me have a few phone calls.
All right, do that.
Then let's go home. I think first part done. They know that Dr. Kunz will come by tomorrow. We know at least she's safe and sound until end of June. We don't have to worry about her being kicked out.
Do we have to worry about him trying to steal her? What if he just opens a door?
Then it happens. We can't stay there 24/7 looking out for her.
And even then, even if we're there, he could still just walk in.
Honestly, if he would have wanted to pick her up, he's already done that.
That's true. All right, so we do have a plan.
Yeah, let's go home. Let's see how Penelope is doing. Let's also help her and see if it would help her if we organize like a moving service, that they pack everything for her if she doesn't want to go home, or if we maybe should go into an apartment to at least get some clothes.
Oh, yes, why not? That's a good idea.
Then
I mean, it's no longer
cabbie...
it's no longer a crime scene because they realize that nothing happened there.
Exactly. So I'll ask the cabbie to wait out front when we are back home, and we will talk to her. Either she wants to go with us, and if not, we can go in there and just grab some clothing and her things, that she has something that is her own.
You return home. Penelope is in the kitchen. You can hear her voice because she's chatting away to Teresa.
That's good. Well, she will have a look at Alice. That looks really, really weird. Although Alice will get rid of the wig probably already going inside and just like freedom to the hair. Penelope, dear,
Yes.
just something I thought about. I think it would be nice for you to have your clothing and your things, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Now that you mention it, yes. I've been thinking about this. I mean, your clothes
Well, the
are
question.
very small on me.
Um, do you want to come with us and put everything together, or would you rather us go there and just put things together and bring it here? Whatever is better for you. We would come with you. You would not have to go there alone.
If you're with me, then I will go home myself.
Then give me like 10 minutes to
Sure.
look normal again. And Alice will run upstairs to get the little bit of makeup up, to get her hair properly done again, change clothing to normal Alice clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would use the cabbie waiting outside to go together to Penelope's place.
You go to Penelope's place. She opens the door. She has a key. She unlocks it. She pretty much ignores the whole place and goes straight for the wardrobe. Takes down her suitcase, puts in clothes, and then she walks, and then she stops and she looks at the picture of Maeve. And she says, I'm afraid this is as good as it's going to get.
It is perfect, but it's totally fine if you say it's not for sale. Whatever you want to do with it.
No, please take it.
Okay. But we will not hang it up. You don't have to look at it.
I would like for you to hang it up. I would
Then-
like for to know that somebody still appreciates my art.
Well, honestly, there are a lot of people out there. Your other art was well thought over on who will get it. There are a lot of people seeing your talent. Good people. But I get that you need a break out of all of this.
My talent is the reason why Albus Craig invaded my home
No.
and invaded my life.
He invaded your life because he is an insane, evil madman.
I wish I'd never met him.
Oh, I am with you on that, and I know even the people at the Met would love to never have met him. His painting is creeping the hell out of people.
Let's get
It's
going.
not your fault that this happened. You are not allowed to leave that to you. He is the problem. He is the cause for this. All of this. Alice will steer her towards a bathroom, just to maybe toothbrush and all the other things as well, that she's not forgetting that. And we will wrap, I think, the painting in maybe a piece of cloth or an Alice coat, whatever is there.
Oh, there is actually plenty of cloth. Because
then we would use cloth
she
just
would
to
have this
wrap it up.
to wrap paintings that she may be taking places and stuff. So yeah, you can do that, not a problem.
And on the way back, Alice would offer Penelope, so if you want, it doesn't make sense that you pay rent for that place. Should we organize a packing service that they pack everything together and store it for you until you have a new place?
I think that makes sense, yes.
Okay. Then let's get that organized as well.
All right.
Then we go back, and when we are back home, Alice would have a call around for or maybe even the same packing service that they can also store things for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And probably asking them as well if they would transport a big painting for proper payment.
Of course, madam.
tomorrow.
That's not a problem. When should we pick it up?
The question is, would you be able to be at the Met tomorrow around 11?
Sure, no problem at
11:30?
all.
Perfect.
Will there be a space where we can park?
Yes, I will organize something.
Brilliant.
Come to the back of the Met, usually where there's like the back entrance where things are loaded in and out. That would be lovely.
Loading bay. Sure,
Yeah.
no problem.
Awesome.
And he hangs up. His name's Smith, of course.
Clearly.
And okay, so
Repacking.
now it's getting towards evening and it's getting dark again.
Yep. We stay inside.
Mm-hmm.
The poor cab driver is free for the rest of the day as well. Tomorrow we will take someone else to the Met.
You sit in the salon while Dottie is preparing dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're sitting there, you kind of begin to doze.
Mm-hmm.
And as you kind of, you know, like when you kind of realize you're nodding off and you kind of sit up again, you realize that through the chimney and through the fireplace pours forth a mist and is beginning to fill the salon.
Oh no, Alice will jump up. And her first instinct is to turn on the fire in the fireplace.
So you light the fire in the fireplace.
Yes.
The fog or mist or whatever is beginning to thicken. And it turns into a silver screen like in the cinema that you so love to go to. And on it, someone's projecting images. And it's an image of Dottie wearing a bridal dress, walking up an aisle. And you can see that at the end of the aisle, there stands a tall, very thin figure dressed in a yellow robe with a pallid mask, is turning his face towards Dottie, who's processing. It's like a procession up the aisle.
Alice is just thinking about...
Now we make a sanity check first
Okay,
of all.
let's do a... I think pictures like that would more annoy her. Sanity's fine, she rolled a 12.
Yeah, you're so annoyed by this.
First thought is Madame Lavau's counter against gaudy thingies, because it's still in the house that we put in, is not working. Or he's not a god.
Okay, let's blame her first.
Let's know, and then she would be just speaking to herself. Oh, that means you are not a god. That is interesting. So definitely weak and poorly as I thought.
You're not good for his self-respect.
Well...
Oh, he rolled a 0-1. His power. He's fine.
He's fine. You already have a bride. You can't get enough. You need another. And you don't even have... Den Arsch in der Hose. I'm not sure how you say that in English.
Well, you could call it
the guts.
The guts.
Yeah. You don't have the guts to tell your first bride that she will not be the one. That is cowardly as hell. Please clean up your affairs first before you do anything else that might be helpful. And please clean up is not kill her, but talk to her like a normal man would do, and even a normal king would. And now get out of my house.
I'm all powerful.
Well, you're not. You're very pitiful at the moment.
And then you suddenly hear a disembodied voice. Dorothy, your husband is here. And it's basically reverberating around the house.
Alice will turn and she will walk in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Where Dottie should
Where Dottie has frozen in mid-motion with a frying pan in her hand, basically almost ready to toss whatever is inside, and comes like,
just put the pan down. The pitiful man is here again. Playing his games because he's an asshole.
where is he?
Well, there's smoke in the salon.
Are you okay?
I am okay. I'm just highly annoyed that he is too cowardly to clean up his affairs properly.
What now?
He promised herself to one. He's not even having the guts to tell her that he decided elsewise. He killed her father and decided, nah, I don't. And now he just wants this. How many brides at the same time do you want? Holy moly, you're not man enough for one woman. How do you think two could be by her side?
I just want the one.
Well, you already have one. Make up your mind. You promised yourself to Casilda. So promises and your word are worth nothing. You're a liar. You're pitiful. You are not a god. You can only play tricks. So why are you even here? Just go.
Suddenly a knife rises up from the knife block and floats in front of Dottie's throat, where it comes to rest. What if I just kill her in front of you?
Well,
would you like that?
Well, you're not even here. Would you be man enough to stand in person in front of me so I can punch you in the face for that? No, you're far away, sending your spirit. What was it with pitiful? Not being a man? Not being, for sure not a king. If you're not even a man, you can't be a king. You're not a god.
At that moment you see that the knife is drawing blood across Dottie's throat, and she inhales, and
so
you can see that
killing your pride that you just proclaimed is the only love you have in your life and the only thing you want. So she means nothing to you. You are not making up your mind, don't you? If she is important to you, you don't hurt her. You just showed that you don't freaking care about her. You seem to care about me. Should I be your bride? You're more interested in what I think. You are extremely curious on and taking points on what I think. Why am I important to you?
At that moment, he cuts her throat.
Good? Not good. Well, Alice will jump for Dottie.
Dottie falls to the ground. She clutches her throat with both hands.
Alice will press and she will
There is
yell.
blood spitting forth.
Well,
You yell. Teresa
yes.
comes running.
Emergency. Now.
Teresa comes running. And you hear she opens the door to the kitchen and she says, "Miss Alice, what's wrong?"
Okay. Alice will still have her hand and probably some of I don't know. Dottie usually, I think when she's in the kitchen, she would have like an apron, I suspect.
Mm-hmm.
So would have the apron like pressed on as well. Then she would just turn around and look at Teresa.
What is it?
You're not seeing what I'm seeing.
Miss Alice, are you all right?
What are you seeing, Teresa? Clear
You're
question,
kneeling.
want an answer.
You're kneeling on the ground.
Where's Dottie?
Who's Dottie?
I think Alice will just kneel down and she will pray
Okay.
to
Because I
our
worked so well the last
two,
time.
three deities.
3 deities.
Three. Well, the fourth one is there, although we never met her. So the two sisters we know from the trio, and clearly our god. And she would probably also just yell out for Maeve.
Who's Maeve? What is going on? Are you not
She's
feeling all right?
She's ignoring Teresa now. Go away,
Yup.
Teresa.
Teresa, on a 61, fails her sanity test.
Good.
Madam.
Alice will scream at her face. I will not do that because I want your ears still to be there, but get out will be the only words.
She backs away from you. She backs into the table, then she takes a step forward again, maneuvers around it, and leaves the kitchen running.
That's fine. What do I have to roll for praying?
What are you praying for?
That they help Dottie and save Dottie for whatever price.
All
but
right.
explicitly naming those three, and as after sentence no one else. She will focus only on those three that she knows.
So the mother of tears, the mother of sighs. The mother of sighs, the mother of shadows, mother of shadows, mother of sighs, and the mother of tears, whom you've never met.
No,
so
Mother
far.
of Tears, I don't care about.
Ultha.
I will leave out Ultha will be. I think
All
Ultha
right.
would be number one, although Alice has no idea if Ultha would hear, listen, or anything.
Especially since there doesn't seem to be a cat around. Okay. You ask them explicitly to save Dottie.
At whatever
At
price.
whatever price.
Yes.
All right.
Because he's not worth it.
All right. So he's not worth it. Okay.
Let's see. Alice would be also... No, she would focus on praying. As I said, she yelled out for Maeve, but she would be focusing on A, pressing her hands on Dottie, and B, praying.
You pray. Like you have only ever prayed once before when you asked someone,
Yes.
the Holy Mary, to save Dottie.
Mm-hmm. And was highly annoyed that we got help.
And it all went downhill from there. The door opens. You hear footsteps.
Alice will look.
You see yourself.
Okay.
With the red lipstick. It looks so good on you. Make a psychology roll.
Let's see. No. 12.
Okay, then make a spot hidden.
That is a normal success.
The woman who is Alice, and yet she's not, has tears in her eyes. And she sits down next to you. And she's a person of flesh and blood, so she has a pulse, she is warm, she breathes, and she says, You're holding on to a tea towel. Please let go.
Alice would look down at her hand.
You're clutching a tea towel.
No blood?
No.
Okay. She will carefully let go of the tea towel. And will look at herself, which is weird enough, but she's done before. This time she will not be annoyed or angry. That's the difference.
The other Alice looks into your eyes and she says, "This is not real. You have to believe me that Dottie is fine and well, but we have to get you out of here. You are in grave danger."
Alice will nod. Probably wipe away tears of her own. I'm quite sure that she definitely cried over the idea Dottie would die. And she would just look at her. Then how do I get out here? And how do we stop this? Because even if he's pitiful, he's evil to the bones.
This is going to be terrible for you, but I need you to ask to trust me.
With his beautiful lips, I have to trust you. Still a good choice for us.
She puts out her hand to you and says,
Alice will take a deep breath and just like, we believe, and we will grab her hand.
"It was such short notice, I didn't know whose face to choose because I didn't want to show up as Dottie."
It was the best choice. You'd put.
And she says, "You come with me. And whatever you see, whatever you do, you don't let go."
Another deep breath. Let's do this. And Alice will grab a little bit stronger.
And she basically leads you out of the house. The house looks like you remember it. And you step outside. And this is New York, but it's a bit different.
I think it fits.
There's a building site that wasn't there before. There are people who are wearing strange dresses that are vintage, but so vintage that they're almost kind of like, is this a ball? Is this a mask thing? And then she says, "And now we need to run. Quickly. 1, 2, on 3. 3." And she starts running.
Alice will A, try to hold on, and B, to run after her.
And then suddenly you're running down a New York street that only consists of doors, left and right. There are not even houses anymore. Or if there are houses, they have no windows, they just have doors. And then you run, and it's like, almost like now it's like a film that is passing you by. And at some point, you're not even sure if you're moving or if it's the houses and the doors that are moving. And then she stops and she says, "Left or right?"
Gut feeling, Alice just saying left.
She opens the left door. You step through. And you see Lady Jane.
Okay.
She looks at the other Alice and she says, "You found her. I've got Dottie. We have to get them out of here now." And do you look closely?
I don't think well, it's Alice, yes. She looks closely because she's just too freaking curious for her own good. Yes, she will look closely. She will still hold on to herself if the hand is still there.
Yeah, you see that Lady Jane has a portrait picture of Dottie, like just head and torso, and she says, "I've got Dottie. We have to get them out of here now, and we have to be quick." And the two sisters basically turn to you and say, "Everything is going to be fine, and we have to be quiet." And you start
We'll just nod.
slowly walking. And again, you're stepping outside. There is a door, she opens it, you step outside. And again, this is New York, but it looks like this is a century or so ago. There are horses drawing carts. This is not the New York you know. People are wearing the clothes of the turn of the 18th to the 19th century. There are people begging openly in the streets. It's dirty. And she says, "I think it's that door." And Lady Jane reaches out, turns the handle or the door knob. The two of them step through. The other Alice is still holding on. And then she says, "Yes, come on." You step through, and you are in your own home. And you walk into the hall. And then you hear a very soft, "Everything is going to be fine." But whatever you do, destroy the painting. Quickly.
Alice will just whisper back, which of the two? Because there are two. Well, one on canvas, one at a wall of a building.
Then you have to destroy all of them. He's after you, but more importantly, he's after her.
Oh, he's after a lot of people. He's changing his mind constantly.
He's chaos. What do you expect?
A proper king behavior. He calls himself king, but not behaving like one.
And you hear your own laughter, but it's light-hearted. And she says, "Just take care."
Alice will press her hand and will just look at her and first of all, thank you. And second of all, I'm very sorry for the past behavior of myself.
Lady Jane rolls her eyes and she says, "My sister sometimes has this effect on people. She is very young."
Well, I am very stubborn.
And the two of them vanish before your eyes. And you're alone in the hall. And you hear the pitter-pattering of little feet.
Oh, she will grab Maeve if Maeve wants or not. And she will
like,
get
"Wow!"
the biggest hug ever. She will not be squeezed to death, but she will be squeezed.
"Alice, dinner's almost ready. Maybe you could lay the table."
I think Alice would just peek into the kitchen.
You see Dottie with a frying pan turning towards her. She's wearing an apron. She's like, "Oh, I thought you were in the salon. Sorry, were you upstairs?"
The thing is, Alice is, that would be self-feeling more or less. Does she look like she cried?
Dottie. Does Dottie
No.
look like...
Alice. Because Dottie would look like puzzled if she would see Alice in the state that she ran out of whatever insanity world she was in.
Oh, she rolled a 16 on her spot hidden. That is almost a critical success. What's wrong?
Just a second. And Alice would turn around, she would look in the salon just to be sure that...
You're not there. You're not in your salon, you're not seeing yourself, if that's what you're looking for.
No, but I would be curious. Fire's burning, no other smoky thingies.
No.
Then she would turn around again and go to the kitchen. Let's eat here.
You've been crying.
Well, that horrible man. That is so below a king.
He made you cry? I thought you despised him.
Well, he killed you in front of me.
What?
He just slit your throat with a knife. Showing how important you are to him, that still makes me very angry. He pulled me to a different place.
I thought you were in the salon. Did you go out?
No, I dozed off.
He came to the house?
I dozed off. I thought I woke up. There was smoke in the salon, and he projected you two being married. Then I went to the kitchen because he called out for you. And in trying to talk to him, he decided the best way to show how important you are to him is to kill you in front of me.
The wedding's off.
They saved me, brought me back.
Who?
The sisters.
So now they're in this too?
Well, I asked them for help.
You asked them for help. Now, that's an interesting twist.
Well, desperate situations, right?
And they helped you.
Yes. They brought me back and told me we need to destroy both paintings.
Well, then I should maybe pray to them tonight and thank them for bringing you back. I mean, honestly, I didn't even know you were gone. What would have happened if they hadn't? Would I then have been on my own?
Maybe. I'm not
What?
sure.
I find this very threatening.
Me too. And they confirmed what we all know already. Madame Lavon thought the same, that he's pure chaos, which also explains why he's jumping between you're the only one, but he has no problem in just with a snip killing you. And marrying the one, no marrying the other. I still have no freaking idea why he's even interested in me. I'm definitely not marriage material, as it seems. Should I be heartbroken about that? I'm not bride material. That is painful to hear.
I wouldn't put it like that.
Well, in his words, I probably am not.
Do you really want to marry him?
Well, he would be in hell on whatever earth he created for me if I would be at his side. He would murder me quicker than...
Or you him?
Well, it's easier for him to murder someone, since I can't touch him.
Well, so far he's not been able to murder you either. He pricked you with a knife and you didn't bleed.
Thank goodness he didn't manage to kill you either, even though it was very real.
You were there to witness it.
I hold your throat, trying to stop the bleeding.
I'm sorry.
You don't have to be, because it's not your fault. It again makes me very angry against that thing.
I share in your anger. I dislike him with a vengeance. I think he must die.
How cowardly to play these tricks.
It's not about cowardice. He hurt you.
Well, tomorrow...
He will pay for this.
He definitely will, and we will not be stopped.
No.
But at least it shows that he's not really interested in Casilla anymore, which might give us more time there.
Well, let's see what Dr. Kunz says.
It
tomorrow
will
we're
take
gonna...
a lot of work to work with her, with or without the king. I'm quite sure.
Somehow I got the feeling that Dr. Kunz is somebody who enjoys hard work.
And she has the idea that everyone can be helped. I think healed is maybe too much, but helped. And giving support to find a way.
She healed me. She helped me.
Thank goodness for that.
Do you think you can eat something? Because I think you should.
Then let's eat something. And Alice will put out plates, but in the kitchen. On the kitchen table.
So you basically sit down for dinner.
Yeah.
It's good, of course.
But Alice will not eat. She will eat a tiny bit, because she knows Dottie will force her. But she will not eat much.
Dottie is pensive. So, tomorrow, 11 o'clock. When... Maybe you should go to bed.
I don't think I can sleep after this.
Okay, then how about we just sit down in the salon together?
Let's stay here. I kind of dislike the salon at the moment.
All right.
Maybe some chess?
Sure. I'll get the set. She gets up, she goes outside into the salon to grab the chess set.
Alice will look through the door, just wanting to see if everything is okay.
You crane your neck and you can see that she's basically going to the cupboard where you keep your chess set and your backgammon set, and she picks out the chess set and the pawns and and the board, and she then takes it back into the kitchen. She says, I'll set up and you make the tea.
Alice will get up, make the tea.
And you play a couple of rounds, several matches.
I think in between Alice would just throw in, we need to visit a different general store tomorrow. If we always buy things that are easily burned and with acid, it will be weird.
Yeah, we don't want them to trace us down, do we?
Maybe not.
And then at about 1 o'clock she says, but now it is time for bed. Come on. You have to get some rest. I'll stay with you.
Alice will get ready for bed. She will go to bed. I still highly doubt she will sleep.
Dottie sits down in your easy chair, props up her feet. Maeve jumps on the bed.
I think Alice would just pat the side next to her not for Maeve, probably also inviting, but
Maeve.
for Dottie.
Okay, Dottie goes to bed and lies down next to you, and she says, "They brought you back. That's very important."
That's true. But they were scared.
That's also important to know.
Which makes it even more discomforting that he's there. And again, the question, why do we have to take care of this and not the people who actually have the power to do something? I think that still annoys the living hell out of me and deities of any kind.
I have a theory.
They like watching us suffer?
No. I believe it's to do with the fact that Hale told you that they are all our own creation. Maybe because we created them, we will always be more powerful than them. Although we simply don't know it. But when it comes to fighting a god, maybe another god is not powerful enough. It's just that we need to figure out how to fight them. And each one is different. Not everyone needs to be fought. He does. I wouldn't want to fight any of the sisters. They annoyed you, but they didn't do anything to me. One of them brought me back to life.
Well, and also to me, honestly, they mostly annoyed me. Scared the living crap out of me in between, but annoyed me mostly.
That is something that's quite easy to pull off. Annoying Alice Baker doesn't require godly powers.
That is true. That is true. I think Alice would just grab Dottie's hand and just hold it. Still not sure if she would really sleep, to be honest.
Well, I mean...
She would lay down, she would turn off the light.
I mean, there is nothing that Dottie can do to make you sleep, so basically, but let's see if Dottie goes to sleep. On an 90, how do I read this? On an 89, yeah, she goes to sleep.
Okay.
I mean, she's had a lot less trauma because she didn't see herself getting killed.
No, she didn't see it. She heard it, but it's different when you hear it to you experience it. Well, I will make, anyhow, a constitution
No, you
save
don't have to, because if you believe you don't fall asleep, then you don't fall asleep.
I'm not sure. It's a question Alice been through a lot that takes a toll on the body, that it's just exhausted.
Yeah, make a constitution check.
So let's have a look what the dice is saying. And the dice are saying I am totally staying awake because I rolled a 2.
Okay, so your stubbornness and your will make you stay awake.
Yeah.
You notice another thing. Maeve also stays awake. And she keeps looking at you every so often, and then she looks over at Dottie, and then she focuses on you again as if she was saying, well, the two of us have an eye on her and she'll be safe.
Mm-hmm. I think Alice will just give her a smile. And I think Alice will use then the time to just make like a to-do list. What do we need to buy? And what would be the best options? Well, destroying the one painting should be at least technically easy enough if there's nothing magical, shingy happening. But generally, burning a painting should not be too difficult, even if it's that big.
What is canvas actually made of? Is that paper?
Linen.
Linen. Yeah, linen burns.
Linen in a wood frame. And usually, as I said, even if the frames look golden, it's usually wood painted with gold or bronze or something like that.
Okay.
especially in that size, because if not, it would be too heavy to hang anywhere.
You're right. I never thought of that. Considering the size, if it was made of any form of metal, it would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and of course, I mean, paintings burn all the time. When a house burns down, I mean, lots of stuff gets devoured by the flames. Okay, so you have a plan. So you need to get some accelerant, as it were, to make it burn really hot. Because the hotter, the easier.
Going the way of maybe we could buy a rope or just at least something that we could use to not. We could also just. She will buy. No, she doesn't need to buy. She has enough lighters in her house, I'm quite sure.
Yes, you're a smoker.
So she will take one of the lighters she doesn't really care about. One of the cheap ones, and she will use that because you can just throw. The canvas is big enough. If we coat it with alcohol and just throw something burning on it, it should.
Or even gasoline would probably be even better than alcohol. If you got gasoline, because that burns even better.
I'm just thinking, gasoline should be easy enough to get without causing
any petrol station
looks.
Will do.
Yes, because there are things running on that. So that would be then, I think, the way to go.
And I mean, especially in those days, cars would always have like a gasoline kind of like canister. If you run out of fuel.
Yeah.
So that would not be a problem at all. You could get a can of gasoline.
So
petrol.
We would get a canister of petrol gasoline. Lighter we have, that's easy enough. I think Alice is torn between the initial idea that we should take the painting to the other painting and burn it leading against the other one. Although it's the question if that would be too high risk to lose both paintings at the same time. So she will just swipe it away and say one after the other. First the easy one. And then she's thinking about how on earth to get rid of the other painting.
Where are you planning on taking the painting from the Met to burn it? Do you want to burn it in an enclosed space, maybe the warehouse, but not next to the paintings, or do you want to take it somewhere completely else? Let's call the other one the mural. So near the mural, or maybe somewhere else.
Somewhere else. I think not near the warehouse, just of what happened in the warehouse. He might be too present for that.
Good
so
point.
Somewhere, I guess outside of Manhattan would be the way.
Okay.
Countryside somewhere, I don't know, at the beach. They have beaches there. Sand should be fine with fire. It should not carry it over. So somewhere at the beach, which is a weird request for the moving transport. But hey, for the right money, they will probably not ask questions. And that they just drop us there.
Okay. So the next morning dawns.
Yeah.
You have been awake.
Yeah.
Dottie has actually slept. But she does wake up. Morning. Have you not been sleeping at all?
No, making plans.
Once those plans come to fruition, you have to promise me that you do fall asleep at some point.
I will. I'm still thinking about how to get rid of the painting on the wall. Paint thinner.
Yeah, turpentine. You've managed to actually do damage to it already. So you were stopped because he was there.
Because spray paint would take too long. We need something that we can just sloth on there, and I think turpentine can burn as well.
I believe it can. The way it smells, isn't it even?
It is alcohol, but
yeah.
I'm not sure in which. Come on, Google.
Turpentine.
Exactly.
Petrolether und 90%iger Alkohol.
Yeah, it will burn.
Mit rußender Flamme.
I don't care if it's smoking
Ja.
or not, as long as it's burning.
Terpentin ist
So,
hochentzündlich, highly flammable. Vorsicht vor Terpentindämpfen.
should we visit a certain painter store because they are selling all stuff for paintings?
I'm pretty sure Sam would be delighted to see you again.
I think that would be the way
Mhm.
to go after we destroyed the one painting. Focus first, we need to be...
And then look after the mural. So for the mural, you're going to go to the paint shop, but for the first one, for the actual painting, you already have what you need.
Yeah. Or we could get gasoline
Yeah,
at a
you'll
gas
get the
station.
gasoline. Okay,
Yeah.
so you meet up with the van guys at the loading bay.
Just tell them to wait, and I would go inside to see Alex.
Dottie is actually by your side. She's not. She says
No,
to you
I think
basically,
we are
should
on
not be separate.
No, we will stick together.
So you go upstairs and you go to Alex Coxton's office, and you knock. Hello, come in. And she's already waiting for you. And she says, "Oh, you're on time as usual. So let's go." And she takes the two of you to that room where she's basically put away the painting, and it's hidden underneath a canvas. And she basically says, "Okay, so I'm going to get two of our workers to carry it because it's way too heavy for the three of us." And it is super heavy. So the two workers come, they pick it up, and the canvas slips, and the whole painting is uncovered. Please make a spot hidden.
Do I really want to look?
I don't know if you want to, but you have to.
I rolled a 7.
Is that a critical success?
Yes.
Okay, you notice two things. Number one of the dancers now has a face, and it's Albus Craig's face.
That's not that shocking.
No. And you notice something else that you may not have expected or may have expected. You're absolutely sure that the central dancer, the king, has moved several steps towards the front of the image, if it makes sense. So he's standing a lot closer.
Well, let's try to pull the cloth over it again.
You put on you pull over the cloth again.
Yeah. And tell the carrying people, be careful.
Yes, we will, of course. And and they carry it downstairs to the loading bay. The two men from the removal company are there. The four of them hoist it into the car, into the van. The van doors are locked, closed and locked. And then the removal guy says, "So where to, miss?"
Just a second. I will turn around just to Alex. I'm quite curious on how you want to explain this. Do I even want to know?
It was put away for restoration due to the water damage, and somebody was not careful enough with the turpentine. Poof.
Okay. As option B, you can probably also just say he demanded his painting back. He will not show up.
But what if he does?
He can't.
What do you mean he can't? She whispers.
To summarize, he will never paint a creepy painting ever again.
You hacked off his hands?
No.
Do I even want to know the details?
No. I don't think so. He got
Alice,
what he deserved.
if you need an alibi, Just say you were
I
at my
don't.
house.
I don't. All is good.
She
Oh,
takes us.
but before I leave, just as good news, we found Penelope. She's okay.
You found Penelope? Where
Well,
was she? Did she run away?
No, he took her. I told you he's a creeper.
Albus Craig took Penelope?
Yes.
You're sure that she didn't elope with him?
No. She was bound up, mistreated, malnourished. I don't know if she will ever paint again, but at least she is safe.
And he's no longer a problem, you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, this painting would be so much more worth.
No one should look at it. It will cause more problems than anything
I
good.
agree. Well,
Let's
take it away. And don't tell me what you do with it. I don't want to know. Because what I don't know, I cannot reveal.
Exactly. So you know Penelope is back, and we will cross fingers that when she's in Italy, she'll found inspiration again. Because
Hopefully.
it would be a loss if she would stop painting.
She may come back in a different style. Or with a different subject matter.
I think Alex will just get a slight kiss on the cheek, and then
She's a
Alice
bit
will
surprised at that.
turn around, and then we will go to the van, and when we're inside, Alice will tell them the spot. Well, how was it? Everything is legal in New Jersey? We will go to Jersey.
You go to Jersey because everything's legal there. Not.
Well, during that time, I'm not sure anymore. Before that, maybe. Nowadays, probably not. But it would be Jersey because I know they have beaches there. And
having said this, burning something that belongs to you isn't a crime. Taking something that doesn't belong to you is a crime, but who knows?
Yeah, it's still very weird, and the delivery guys will be paid a lot of extra money. Not too much for the books because it would be weird, but they will get a nice tip.
For them, I think that they actually think that you're an eccentric artist who's
that might be an option.
Decided that she wants to either burn her own painting or has bought someone else's painting, and she despises that artist and is trying to extinguish this particular trace of art.
It was officially carried out. It's not that we sneakily, it was met people. Yeah, that's right. They will still get a good tip.
But I think for them, this is probably just like, somebody's
it's
rich
weird.
and rich people are crazy.
Yeah, we're crazy. So they will get an extra tip. And they will definitely get also the job for moving out all the stuff of Penelope's apartment and store it in a storage facility.
Okay, so they unload the painting on the beach. So now, what are you doing?
I will wish them... Oh, I did not think about how do we get back. I think it would be a place where we have walking distance to like a little town where they also have a motel, so somewhere we can crash.
Okay, so all right, so that's
if needed, or if we can organize a driver there to get back.
So New Jersey. Oh, okay. So just for my information, because I really honestly am drawing a blank. New Jersey is a state, and not a city.
No, it's a state that has borders with New York
City. Okay, so you're in New Jersey. You find a beach not too far away from a place where there is a motel.
Yeah.
So they unload the painting for you. You put it down on the beach. You have your gasoline. What do you do?
Well, first of all, we will make sure that the guys have driven off.
Yes, you wait for them to drive off.
Exactly. And it's daytime now. During the week.
Sort of, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, 2. We will pour out gasoline over the canvas, but the cover still on it, so that we don't have to look at the painting, but the cover is also burnable material, so pouring gasoline over it and spreading it out as best as we can. And then throwing the lit lighter on it and wait to see what happens.
Well, gasoline burns rather well, so it's kind of like poof, and there's a very high flame, and it becomes very hot, obviously.
And Alice would hold Dottie's hand during that, also while we stand there and wait.
And you see how the flames are beginning to consume the material, that's the packing material, as it were, whatever it was, the blanket. And then it starts consuming the frame, and it starts consuming the canvas. And it takes a while for the whole thing to burn, because it is rather big. But after, I would say, an hour, 70 minutes, you see that the painting is destroyed. And it really only it doesn't really, I don't really think it would turn to ash necessarily, so there would still be bits and pieces, the wind basically carries them away. There is ash, and the ash is actually just spread out, and the wind just fans it, well, to the winds, as it were, so it's basically gone.
I think Alice would also, when the fire dies down, with kicking in the sand just to spread it out more, probably.
So at this stage now, it's already 4 o'clock, half 4.
Let's take a walk to town.
You walk to the town. It's a small seaside resort town, kind of, sort of. It's smart, so there isn't that much tourism, but it's quaint and cozy, and you can find a motel easily.
The thing is, it depends on how late it is. It's not
now 5 o'clock.
I think then we would have ask around if there are drivers available that against the right payment would be willing to drive into town.
Sure, no problem.
Then we would go back home.
You go back home. You arrive. Teresa says, when you come in, there was a phone call from a Dr. Kunz. She's asked you to return the call.
Oh, I will do that tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Because
then, when we get there, it will be evening. That will be too late to call.
And then Dottie says, well, I'm starving. Teresa, what does the pantry tell you? And she says, oh, well, I make pot roast because I didn't know when the two of you were going to come back, and I was sure that you might not want to cook for yourself, so it's pot roast.
Perfect.
Dottie is really happy about this. You know, she doesn't want her to cook, but, you know, today is an exception because Dottie's really hungry. So there's pot roast and potatoes and greens, and it's great. And do you eat?
Yes. More than yesterday. I think it's sunk in a little bit. And after this day, and I'm quite sure she had a little bit of a breakfast, but not really lunch. And
no, because you were on the road almost
so I think Alice is hungry now, and she knows, I think, enough about the body needs fuel to function. If you don't eat, you just fail. So she will eat a proper meal.
Then after the meal, Teresa basically excuses herself and she goes upstairs, and then Dottie says, still not the salon?
Well, let's go to the salon. He's for sure not worth it being scared at home.
That's true. So she sits down on the sofa.
Alice will turn on the fireplace. Maybe turn on music. I think they would maybe, again, I don't know, do backgammon or something like that.
Yeah, you play a couple of matches, and then Dottie looks at you, she cocks an eyebrow, she says, you should really try and get some sleep.
We both should.
Well, I slept last night.
Doesn't hurt to sleep again.
No, of course not. I was planning on going to bed anyway.
Question is... again together?
Yes.
I still don't trust him.
No,
I think for Maeve it's easier to keep an eye on both of us if we're not in separate rooms.
Maeve is sitting on the ground looking at the two of you, and basically she's applauding you inwardly because that's a really sensible point to make.
Point to make, right?
And so the two of you go to bed, and Dottie
Maeve will
falls
plonk
asleep.
herself in the middle.
Yeah. Dottie falls asleep pretty quickly.
I think before we go to bed, Alice would get rid of the chase away gaudy thingy that is still wherever we put it, because it's not scaring away the right people. So, and then yeah, I think Alice would sleep because she needs rest. She knows that, and tomorrow will be a horrific day, quite sure. So. Sleep it is.
And the next morning, you're woken by Dottie, and she says, it's time to get up, but you can stay in bed. There's going to be breakfast in bed.
No. I will do breakfast.
You're way too late.
She will look at the clock.
I let you sleep in.
But why?
Because
it's my job to do breakfast.
Yes, but every once in a blue moon I can do breakfast. I even let Teresa cook last night.
Well, one day I will have to cook then dinner as well. That will be an experience for all of us.
Well, hashtag open for something new. So you stay where you are. And she goes outside, and Maeve is basically looking at you, and you can tell that she's expecting payment for this.
Alice can only offer cuddles at the moment, or ear scritches, because she has no food or drink
She
or
takes
anything
them.
here.
She takes them graciously.
Probably with also the words of thank you watching over us.
And Maeve gives you this disconcertingly human look of somebody who understands. There is the intelligence, there is the ability, the mental level that she understands what you just said. And then Dottie comes back, and it's breakfast in bed, and it's great. All the things that you like.
Good. Then, after breakfast...
The mocha is not mocha.
Well,
it's normal tea. She rolled a 71.
That's fine. That's fine.
She's losing her touch. And then basically you have to... do you want to ring Dr. Kunz?
Yes. So after breakfast, getting up, getting dressed, telling Maeve that today we can get all the moral support we will need to stop this insanity. But then calling Dr. Kunz back to see what she says.
This time round, you reach her directly.
Oh.
Dr. Kunz.
Baker, good morning.
Oh, yes, Miss Baker. Thank you very much for returning my call. It's one day late, but still, I'm willing to talk to you.
I was out of town. I'm really sorry. I just
Never mind
arrived.
that. Don't be sorry, just improve. Your patient. She's, I take it, your niece?
Kind of, yes.
Well, she's a very interesting patient. Did you know?
Well, the more I think of it, I think the more things you will find that needs help. I think her personality is kind of split. At least when she talks to us, you always get the feeling that there are two sides of her. At least two.
I have met 3. There is a young girl. Then there is someone who is old, some kind of authority figure. And then there is somebody who's obviously under the impression that she's going to get married soon. Do you know anything about the groom? Because I would really like to meet him. Because there are certain things that he will have to bear in mind if he is going to embark on marriage to Ms. Casilda.
Well, I can tell you that he's a phony and he doesn't mean what he said to her. There will not be a marriage, but it's kind of difficult to explain that to her.
Oh, that is going to complicate things because she is really fixated on that marriage to take place.
I know, and he does not have the guts to tell her that he found someone else. I highly doubt he will ever contact her again.
I'm not impressed with that behavior.
Oh, me neither. And I'm really sorry for the girl that has to go through all of this craziness.
Well,
in her already not safe and sound state.
I have been told that also she sometimes seems to be under the impression that she is in a convent.
I have no idea under which explanation her father put her there. I have to.
Because I will tell you one thing, if you have anything to do with this young girl's education, I would implore you to not send her to a convent. She would make a terrible nun.
Oh, you met me, right? I am far away from sending anyone into any kind of place like that. They're brainwashing.
I think the other nuns would probably go crazy. Literally.
I highly doubt it will be good for her. So the main idea is how can we help her to get better? And maybe get through the disappointment of not being married. Although I honestly think it's a good thing that she's not marrying him.
Well, I would suggest that she leaves that place immediately.
But we don't have a place to put her.
Oh, I would have a place. It's more of a... It's communal living, I would like to call it.
It will need 2 or 3 days of preparation to clarify things and sort things out. Would it be okay for you? Or is that
well,
too
yes, of course.
quick-handed?
I will also let you know what this communal living space is like. It is actually a place in near Boston, in Massachusetts. It's an old mansion, but it's in very good shape, and there are several of my colleagues from Europe who have decided to set up shop here in the United States, and they believe in treating people like I treat them using psychoanalysis. But some people cannot be treated at home. They need to be sequestered, either for their own good or for the good of their families. So it is an enclosed space. So she will not be able to wander off and get lost. But it's by no means a prison, and it's not an asylum either. The idea is that by talking about their problems on a regular basis with a specialist, but also engaging in meaningful activities like painting, music, acting, gardening, husbandry. They keep animals like rabbits and sheep. They produce wool and sell it. They kind of have a normal life where they can concentrate on something other than their affliction.
That sounds like a good place for her to be. Since she doesn't have a home really left here.
And of course, visitors are allowed at all hours. Well, except for during the night, because that would be a little bit disruptive. But
Yeah, no, that is totally fine. Would
visiting
it?
hours don't exist. We encourage people to come and visit, and people from the local neighborhood also come, and basically there is a market where they sell produce, and I've been there several times myself, and I think the colleagues have really put something up that is worth supporting. It is also not that expensive because some of the costs are borne by them selling their own goods.
Okay.
And I can vouch for my colleagues. They've all studied with me or with Dr. Freud.
I trust you absolutely, Dr. Kunz. That is not the thing. Would it help her that she gets a few of her personal belongings over there, or
Oh,
rather
absolutely. I would suggest, and please also be aware that this is it's a multi-denominational group, so she can worship in her own way.
not? The other question would be, would it help you and your colleagues to get your hands on her diaries to understand more about her past?
That would always be helpful because for some reason she is very quiet about her past. It is difficult to engage with her on some levels, and on other levels she is more than willing to share.
Then, as I said, it will take 2 or 3 days to get everything sorted. Then I will contact you that we can make arrangements for her to travel there.
Quite.
And I will see that we get some of her things together, and the diaries I will prepare. And should I hand them over to you, or should she bring them, or should we bring them then to the place in Boston? Only Boston.
I think you can just take them yourself and hand them over because I will actually not engage with the patient anymore because I don't want her to fixate on me, because she will see a change of scenery and she will see a change of treating personnel, and I don't want to form a relationship with her that I would then have to break very soon. While I don't think that I'm a traumatic person, it could cause distress in some patients.
Understood.
And we want to minimize this.
Then just make sure the invoice goes to my place.
Oh, it's already in the post.
And thank you for your help.
Not at all. And do ring me about the arrangements.
I will do so. Thank you. Have a nice rest of the day.
You too. And she hangs up.
I will give Dottie a summary.
That doesn't sound so bad.
It doesn't. I still
Plus,
have
he's never going to look for her outside of Boston.
Well, first we need to get rid of the things before we can move her.
You mean the mural?
Yes.
Well then, maybe we should do it tonight. So then that's done and dusted.
I'm not even
Let's not
sure I
wait
want
another
to
day.
do it during nighttime.
Then first thing tomorrow.
Oh, we have the whole day.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it's OT, of course. Yes, it's morning. Yeah.
Next to
Duh.
worrying what the hell is happening outside. The world is ending outside for sure.
Is it? Is it
Yeah.
raining?
Yeah, it's raining cats and dogs, as
Oh
it
dear.
seems. It sounds horrible.
So, well then, let's do it now.
Let's go to the store, buy the paint thinner.
Mhm.
And let's go to the warehouse.
So you go to Tivolini's Paints and Art Supply. Sam is there.
I'm just thinking about if I should close my window.
Perhaps.
hold it. Oh, well, although honestly, look at the time, we're probably not
Yeah.
doing long anyhow. So, but yeah, we will go to Tivolini's and visit Sam, and we'll order an unhealthy amount of paint thinner. We have a big project coming up with a big art class, so we need to have everything prepared.
He is fine with that as long as you pay. He puts it in the. He basically um, paints. He paints. He writes it down. He wets the pencil with his tongue, and he basically. You can see that he's meticulous about his bookkeeping. And he says, well, when Mr. Tivolini comes back, everything has to be in order. Everything. I mean, the books have to be perfect. So, and he basically really writes each letter of your name and the letter of each of the words that pertain to your order and the numbers so painstakingly, slowly, that it looks really clear. And then he goes back into the... Oh, now I can hear it too. Took a while to get from you to me.
I'm still listening to you, but I will close the window because it doesn't sound safe. That is better. Okay. Now it cannot rain inside.
That's
because
always good.
Holy moly.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a lot of water and a lot of wind.
Uh-huh. And then basically you get all of the stuff. You go to the warehouse. You have brushes. You have
No,
also...
we only have paint thinner.
But how are you going to put it onto the wall?
I think... Well, paint thinner is consistency of a little bit thicker water. So I think her idea is to splash it and have it dissolve and run.
Okay. But still you would need at least some kind of ladle to splash it against it, because if you just take the whole bucket, it's going to be difficult to place it. It'll just, you know what I mean? I would have expected that you soak it up somehow and then start washing the wall as if you were whitewashing it or something.
Her idea was really splashing it onto the wall bit by bit.
Okay.
And just have it do a work. I think in parallel she would have bought a few of the... You have like big paint brushes where you can make really a surface.
Yeah.
Which you use usually for priming or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I would have expected, that you have
afterwards to spread it a little bit more. But the thing is, in Alice's head is we don't have much time. We have one try and we need to be quick. And if we start tonking and doing a little, that will not work. We need to have like splash. So I think they would actually make sure that they don't get like one big tub, but a few tubs that are smaller.
Okay. Then make a throw check.
Do you want to finish this today?
Okay.
No, I'm just looking at the clock and thinking about when we have to get up.
Okay.
So it's a question if we do a cliffhanger here, which I think makes more sense that we can finish it in peace and quiet next time.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. Then we have a cliffhanger and there will be Brushstrokes Part 6. Who would have thought?
I am sorry for pulling that out.
No, it's fine.
I can see people whoever's watching is like, why on earth did you say that? We want to know what happens.
And we will see what happens.
We will see what happens. But yeah, we are equipped with a lot of paint thinner and some brushes.
Okay.
And then we will see next time
how you fare. Okay, then thank you very much for playing.
Thanks for pulling us through this insanity.
Yes, and thanks to everyone for listening. And we will be going on with this in 2 weeks' time, and then we will see what happens when you try to destroy the mural.
Yep.
And until then, be safe and have a lovely time.
Bye.